Dr. Bodhi. Glad to see you.
Thank you. All right. I send an email. I don't know whether it can be downloaded here.
Yeah.
The 5 precepts, the 10 precepts.
10, oh, 10 precepts.
Yeah.
You
I
you
sent that today.
emailed Enid.
Email. It's
Yeah.
in the email.
Sorry, I haven't received it.
You haven't received. Okay.
Yeah.
What about the other one, the dawning statement of the Buddha?
Yes. Yeah.
You can put that one. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Okay, we can start with that.
Okay.
And there's another part to that as well. Okay, we can look at that later. All right. Now the question is, this is what Buddha said after enlightenment. Now,
Yeah.
so that briefs the experience and what is done by the Buddha as an ascetic or
Yeah.
Prince Siddhartha. As an ascetic, there is according to the history, it says Buddha has spent 6 years.
Yeah.
6 years to attain the Buddhahood. 6 years of investigation. Now, there are so many things that we can think when we look at this one. Some people say Prince Siddhartha tortured the system by not eating and this, that, giving, starving for so many days and this, that. Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pardon?
but nothing is said in this particular final statement. So I would say, according to my thinking, Buddha was doing a 6 year investigation about how this life is working with the outside world. Okay?
Yes. Yeah.
1 second.
Yes.
Give me a second. I'll just close this.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's right. Okay, now let us look at this first, the dawning statement of the omniscient Buddha after enlightenment. So I'm going to look at these words. They are very useful to read and understand. The first one says, Aneka
Okay.
Jati Sansara. Okay, the first one says, Aneka Jati Sansara. So if you look at what I have written here, I have explained each and every part separately. Okay. First line, second line, third line, fourth, fifth, like that. In some instances, I have put the explanation of half of the line. Anyway, Aneka Jati Sansara. So, Sanda Bisang, Anibisang. Anibisang, Sanda Bisang. Now, the first line says, decided to fully free the process of this life from fearful sufferings. So that particular thing has got Anibisang means freed. Anibisang, Bisang means not freed. Anibisang means freed. Nibisang means not freed. Anibbisam means freed. So if you get the word anibbisam, to free the system. If you
Yeah.
get the word without capital A, nibbisam, that is not freed the system. So that's how you look at these sounds. All right. Now this, I'm not going to just go through that for the sake of going through it. I'm going to look at this in a very broader sense. So all Buddha's findings are related to freeing the system from fearful suffering. Make sense?
Yes.
So it should be the case. So Buddha giving that particular message to us, saying that I was trying to free the system, this Buddha system from, or Prince Siddhartha system from fearful suffering. So therefore, it implies that, or it shows that, it tells us a story that Prince Siddhartha was worrying about the fearful suffering. Make sense?
Yes.
So fearful sufferings were in that particular system of Prince Siddhartha. One could imagine Prince Siddhartha is a son of a king. So son of a king had some fearful sufferings. What type of things that person had when Buddha was like a young person, but of course he became an ascetic. So we have to look at what are the things happening in that life as well. So Buddha is like a person similar to us, no difference, although he is a son of a king or he's a prince. So the fearful sufferings were there. One of the things is fear to die, fear to get hurt, fear to get bad diseases, illnesses. There are so many things that you can think of. There is a fear that when you go out, something could happen. So all sort of things are there with any life.
Yes.
Okay, so that is a very important thing to visualize or think about. Then Buddha says about sansara, the second word sansara, third word is sansara. So if you look at aneka jati sansara, so I'm going to explain these three terms. Aneka, so many times. Jati means changing the system. Sansara is going on and on and on and on. So I have not written everything here, but I just pinpointed uh, going on and on with action. So one action after the other, I was moving with this life, one action after the other. Aneka jati sans. How many times? Countless.
Yes.
Countless. I can't count the number of times I was moving from one action to the other. So that is this life or the previous lives, all the lives. So it tells it is a, now when we say human being nothing but a package of energy is in here. There is a some sort of energy in this particular system. So energy is used to go from one action to another. So this is a source of energy. Source of energy is the life. So it's going from one action to another for countless times. When we look back in this particular life, when we look at it, yes, we were going from one action to another from the day that we can think, maybe 5 years, 6 years, or whatever, from the day that we can think, we are started in this life, we were going from one action to another. Make sense?
Yes.
So we have to realize that. Even in this life, we don't know how many times we went along that path. So many times we don't know. Countless.
Yes. Countless.
And it's going carelessly. So it's going here and there. We don't know what's going to happen. We're uncertain, doubtful. So carelessly mean it's doubtful. We don't know. It's there's a word called heva. Heva. It's going here and there. We don't know where we are going. So when we are moving, our system changing. What is changing the system? Physically and emotionally, it is changing. So when we look back about our life, we can realize, yes, that is what has happened to us. Then, due to various antecedent and prior causations, so the present and the past causes, due to various reasons, this was happening because we attached to so many things to get on with this process, which is going from action to action. So what are these actions? Now the next question is, what are the actions? Actions are developed through Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. Those are the 5 elements of a thought that we studied last time. So all these actions are going from one situation to another. They join together. One action after another action comes. So they are induced with thoughts. You can't do action without a thought. But actions are happening. After that, we are thinking. Who is doing the action? The system. How the system does actions? Well, as long as karma or attraction and retractions are within this system, the system is producing thoughts and actions, actions and thoughts. Can you understand that?
Yes. Yes.
So you all are in a better position now to understand, which we discussed all these things earlier. That's good. So countless times these things are happening. We don't know how the things are happening earlier, but now we know. After studying, we know exactly how the thoughts are developing or creating in the system. So we have to attach to the outside world uh, positively or negatively through the Vattu Rupa, then the Upadana Rupa, then the Upadana Rupa is going to Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana, and they are all bringing us a myth. So
Yes.
finally, thought is a myth. So we are struggling with a chain of myths which are produced for so many years now. So we have to realize that. So Buddha has said all these things in 1 or 2 lines. Aneka jati sansaram. I was in this particular business of going behind the myths for enormous amount of lives. Enormous amount of lives. I was being with these thoughts and actions one after the other. Aneka jati sansara. Sanda vissang adibbisang. All explained here in the first line. I was going through that particular process for countless times. Carelessly it's moving. Sandha is carelessly. Viskang is various reasons behind that. What are the main reasons? Are our greediness or the karma, attraction, retraction towards worldly things for happiness. So our main idea is to get the happiness by joining with the worldly sources or the possessions or the animals, people, you name the situations, everything was considered. So you're happy with the first part. We can come back to that again. So that is the first part of the Buddha's statement, dawning statement. Why it is dawning statement, Buddha explains exactly how the fearful suffering is eradicated or freed. Now, again, Buddha is very systematic. As you can see, the very first line says, decide to fully free the process of this life from fearful sufferings. So at the end, there should be the result. Make sense?
Yes.
At the end, there should be the result. Otherwise, we get confused. So therefore, we'll see what Buddha had to say at the end. But we go slowly from part to part. Excuse me. Now the next one says, Gahakarakang gave santo. Gahakarakang gave santo. If you look at the sutras, you got this particular sound gave, gave. So I think you can look at it later. That's not a bad thing to do. Gave. Gave means gave. Gave is examination. Gave santo. Gave santo. Investigation, examination, evaluation. So gave santo. There's another term, vibhagayanto. So ye satcharyani vibhagayanto. So it's vibhagavanto means also kave santo. Kave santo is investigation. Who, what was Gavesh, what is the thing Prince Siddhartha was Gave Santo investigating? What was Prince Siddhartha investigating? It says Prince Siddhartha was investigating who is responsible to make this system, which gives enormous amount of suffering and actions after actions are taking place. So Gave Santo, investigation. Gahakarakang is who is responsible. So I was examining who is responsible to bring a system like this to me. That is what it is in simple terms. Gahakarakang is who is the person. I have written the craftsman. Craftsman or the person who is constructing this particular process of life, who is doing this.
Yeah.
Now, that is the first thing that Buddha was trying to figure out. Make sense?
Yeah.
Now see that there is a method used by the Prince Siddhartha, or ascetic Siddhartha, I would say. Ascetic Siddhartha had a plan. First, Gave Santo evaluated, examined the person behind this particular construction of hurtful house of this process of life. So it's, I say the house because it's, this particular body is the house for us. Everything is here. Now see, this house is stored with what? Rupa. Enormous amount of rupa of the incidents that occurred during the past years. All the concept, thoughts, the ideas that you had are here. So unbelievable amount of things are stored in this particular house. What is the house? Our interior. Make sense?
Yeah. The house, it means what? The body.
Not the body, the entire thing, entire process. When you say house,
Oh, yes, yes, I know.
physically and emotionally, you name everything is there.
Yeah.
Now, one person asked the Buddha, where is this mind is? So he put a, where is the mind in this particular system? Buddha said, mind is everywhere in this particular system. There's no one particular place for the mind. So if you get a pain in your leg, the mind goes there. If you get a pain in your hand, the mind goes there. Make sense?
Yeah.
If
Okay.
you get a pain in an incident that happened, the mind goes to that particular incident. I don't know where it is. Maybe somewhere. Can't explain. So mind is, I use the word mind, but mind is a myth, as Buddha said. So anyway, it's going here and there. So it can go anywhere. So as you ask, where is the house? House is entire system. A good
Yeah.
question to ask. Where is the house here? House is entire system. It is physically and emotionally, you name everything is there.
Okay. Thank you.
That's all right. So through thorough examination, engage in an extensive investigation, Gave Santo, to figure out the cause of suffering, dukkha. It says what is dukkha is fearful suffering. So fearful suffering is the dukkha. The cause of suffering is the dukkha. The suffering is dukkha. So to figure out the cause of suffering, this investigation was done on one hand, on the other, to find out the craftsman who is behind this construction of the hurtful house. So there are two reasons given here. Gave santo dukkha jati punappunam. Dukkha jati punappunam. So behind, the person who is behind this formation of sufferings, the person who is behind this creation of suffering in the system. Jati means it's changing my system always. Jati is changing. What is changing? It's going from, as we said, the four uh, negative energies, the changing the particles of the system, compression, squeezing, warming up, and vibration.
Vibrating.
Yeah, those
Vibration.
are changes happening. Jati is that. So I'm in one jati today. In a moment, I'll be in another jati, another situation. Now, see, for example, I get a very bad feeling due to something came to my mind. Then all of a sudden, when I think over, somebody crack a joke, in front of me. So I laugh. So I was worried, and all of a sudden I am laughing. That could happen, isn't it? So I'm in one jati with that thought or that incident. Then in a matter of seconds, I'll be in another jati, smiling and loudly, shouting happiness to show the happiness. and laughing loudly. Makes sense?
Yes.
So that is jati is a word used in everywhere by Buddha. Jati is your change.
Yeah.
So Buddha said jati is a jati is a suffering. Jati pi dukkha. If you read later, you will find jati pi dukkha. I was in jati. It is a dukkha because my system is not stable. My system is changing. So I'm in a very soothing or peaceful, situation right now. All of a sudden, it changes to aggressive situation. So jati pi dukkha. So when that happens, my system boils, deteriorates the particles, destruction to the particle, then jati pi dukkha, jara pi dukkha. Jara means it's not it's it's discarding that state. That happiness is going away. Jati jara. Then it becomes some sort of a illness comes into that. So ill feeling because my system is not working as did in the past or in a few minutes ago it was very pleasing mood. Now the pleasing mood has gone and here comes the aggressive mood. So it's jati vidukkha. So you will read that later on. So the Buddha was figuring out the jati which is bringing a dukkha, punappunang is behind. Who is behind this? So dukkha jati punappunang means that. That is what it is. So what is gavesanto? Examining. Gavesanto, gahakarakang is who is responsible for that to bring me dukkha, change in my system, who is behind that, and I examine that. So the second line, all the words are explaining that particular process of examination or evaluation or self assessment, whatever you call. It can be self assessment, examination, thorough examination about this system. For that, what you need, you have to look at how the system works with the outside world. So, how the system works with the outside world, Buddha found out through Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. That is what Buddha explains later. So that part also within this particular examination we can imagine, isn't it?
Yes.
You're with me? Can you understand what I said?
Yes. I can follow you. Yes.
Okay,
Y-
that's good. That's good. Then all of a sudden Buddha says, Gahakarakam. Gahakaraka dittosi. Now see the previous line says Gahakarakam. Then the next line says Gahakaraka dittosi. I have seen the person who is responsible for that. I have seen the craftsman who is responsible for that. So ditto means I found, I saw, I have seen the person responsible for that. Gahakaraka dittosi. I saw that person through that examination. What? Why? Because that person is changed, that craftsman is producing this thing and bringing the fearful sufferings through jati, changing my system, jati. So if I go back to the start, aneka jati sansarang. I was going from one action to another. It's not difficult to understand. I was going from one action to another in these past lives for countless times. going from one action to another. Then I wanted to free the system who is doing this. It's happening carelessly. It's going here and there. So I'm getting into jati. In the next line it says, I'm getting into jati. So I was trying to figure out who is responsible for that. Gahakarakang gavesanto. So I had to do a real deep investigation, examination, extensive examination to find out who is responsible for this, who is behind this, bringing dukkha and jati, changing my system and bringing fearful consequences, fearful results. So all of a sudden Buddha says, yes, I found the person responsible for that. I found the person responsible for that, and I will, after finding the person responsible for that, I decided not to allow that person to do the reconstruction of that house anymore. Unagehang na kahasi. Na kahasi, I use my power and I reduce the power of the person as well with my power. Power of the person who is doing the construction. So craftsman's power was completely subsided and undone. Controlled and eradicated through that power completely. Therefore, no more construction can be done by that craftsman. Who is the craftsman? The karma. Karma is the craftsman. Karma, tanha, rati, raga, lobha, desha, moha, machariya, krodha, vaira, they are all responsible. But who are the big shots? Karma and tanha. They are the big ones, major ones. Make sense?
Yeah. Yes.
Making jatis, changing my system.
Yes.
So you know when you change the system, what will happen? Kama goes to tanna, kama and tanna, rati, kama tanna, rati, raga, kama tanna, rati, raga, lobha, kama tanna, rati, raga, lobha, vesha, moha, machariya, krodha, vaira, all, it goes along that path. No way of stopping. So they are the people who are responsible. So if you can stop somewhere at kama or tanha, it can't go any further. So we learn that part. Don't allow it to go from kama, tanha, rati, raga is all right. Machariya, krodha, vaira are the consequences. So don't allow that to go any further than raga. Make sense?
Yes.
So that is what we studied. So with the study that we had, we are going to examine what Buddha is talking about in Buddha's last or dawning state of the last. So there's a last statement as well. So we can look at that later. So I'm not allowing this craftsman to reconstruct this particular house again. That is the decision made by the Prince ascetic Siddhartha. So the next one says, if we go to the next part, Sabbete pa sukha bagga gahakutang visankita. So what I have written there was, now how I found that. Because the last line says, I found the person or the craftsman responsible for that. What was this person doing? and how I did that, how I found that, and how I stopped that person's construction. So that should be in the next slide. That was done by eliminating the ignorance over the worldly sources. That means entangling with the, associating with the worldly sources or the worldly things through ignorance is completely stopped. By using all the controlling power possessed in this particular system of ascetic Siddhartha. It says that all the capabilities are used here. They are by able to terminate and conclude the craftsman's abilities and attain the soothing peacefulness and the most and to become a most fortunate person, or to change that system a fortunate one state of life. Now, one thing is stop the production of upadana rupa that we have studied last time, isn't it? Upadana
Yes.
rupa from the vattu rupa. Vattu rupa is converted to upadana or modified, then rupa vedana sanya sankara giving the trouble. So we are dealing with the myths, mirage, and bubbles and the froth and so on, and the stem of a banana tree. So we are dealing with those things, and unfortunately and unnecessarily we are suffering. That's what Buddha said. So that, firstly, Buddha stopped that. Now see the system, the way Buddha has explained, very important here. So Buddha, first thing is the terminate or prevented the ignorance first. So there is no more things are coming in as did in the past. As rupa and production of upadana rupa through the six senses or the nine senses stopped. Make sense? Terminate.
Yes.
Then went on to see what is sitting in the internal system. Is there anything sitting in the internal system? Is there anything sitting and rooted in the system as seeds? We learned that in Karaniya Meththa Sutra. Yeke jipana bhutappi pasava tarava anavasesa digava mahantava majjimaras kanukatula dittava yeva ditta yecha dure vasanti avidure bhutava sambhavesi abbe sattava. So there were seeds sitting there of the previous actions and the previous thoughts. Then I started removing them, taking them out. How? Not allowing the things to go in again and again, not recalling them. So the next thing says, able to terminate and conclude the craftsman's all abilities and attain this, and that is by uprooting. Now the second part. First one is get rid of the ignorance. What is ignorance? Sakkayaditthi Vichikicha. Sakkayaditthi is ignorance. Sakkayaditthi Vichikicha. Silabbata Paramasa Kamaraga Patika Ruparaga Aruparaga Manuddacha. Avidya Avidya Patya Sankara Patya all stop now in the system, no more. Now see, we can explain this, exaggerate this point, further and further and make it a long article. Make sense?
Yes.
So we can explain all these things. Then Buddha started to do, not Buddha, the prince or the ascetic Siddhartha. So after becoming Buddha, Buddha doesn't want to do anything of these things. All gone. No more. Now, Look at what has happened next. Then ignorance is gone. That's the fourth paragraph. This was done by eliminating the ignorance over the worldly sources with the help of enforcing the capabilities of controlling power possessed within, thereby able to terminate and conclude the craftsman's abilities and make the system calm. So first you have to make the system calm to get rid of any residues or anything sitting there which were deposited in the due to the previous actions. So those are seeds, because seeds can come out. It can become plants. Seeds are becoming plants. Plants become, trees. So without allowing that to happen, these are the examples given. So tree is a very bad thought develops. So to prevent that, calm down the system. That is by calming down the system by gradually uprooting various direful collection of roots residing in the interior of the system due to oppressive or harsh seeds. So anything is sitting there. For example, we had an argument with that person. So that argument, seeds of that argument is sitting here. Whenever I see that person, here comes the seeds trying to, make plants. Can you understand that?
Yes.
I'm making that as a small story, but so important and so useful for us to figure out what Buddha did. So first intention was to get through the or freeing the system from fearful sufferings. Then try to figure out who is doing all these things. Did a very extensive examination. So in that examination, Buddha tries to find out why I am getting angry, why I retaliate, why I get attached to things, why I am going behind, happiness. All sort of things were there according to the Buddha's preachings, the sutras, everything explained. Then finally I found the person properly, exactly what craftsman is responsible for this. And then I try to stop the thing making me uh, hurtful. So I took out the ignorance and the illusions and the myths that are taking place. Then what I did was, whatever sitting there as seeds, I took them out systematically. Make sense? That is
Yes.
by
Yes.
uprooting various direful collections of roots. So that is Visankara Gatan Chitta. Visankara, that's the term. Visankara is whatever produces Sankara. Visankara is right opposite of Sankara. You know what Sankara is. Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara. So I dealt with Sankara and I removed them, then it becomes Visankara. Uprooting. Uprooting that. So that means I'm going from Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, no more. No Sankara, no Vinyana. So I have stopped there. It shows I'm not going beyond Sanya or perception. That is what says here.
Yeah.
This is by uprooting means that you have underlined in the fourth paragraph, last two lines. That is good. So that is by uprooting Visankara. Visankara is no Sankara, no Sankara anymore.
Yeah.
So it
No
shows
Sankara anymore.
no in the system, because it's going from when you see something, yes, I saw that's it. No attachment whatsoever towards them. It is good or bad. Buddha never said, Buddha never said, now when the Angulimala went and said, I killed so many people. Buddha didn't utter the word and, blame the person. What he said was, just forget it and do what I'm asking you to do. Don't bring that again. That means be at present. Don't bring the past. Then you hurt yourself. Become a different person from now onwards. Visankara, no Visangankara. So all the sankara is diluted and thrown away by Angulimala. So residing roots taken out, system which are bringing harsh, which are about to come out seeds. Planting the seeds brings very big trees. Before that happens, these trees are Sankara and Vinyan. So before doing that, everything was
Yeah.
apprehended or stopped, I would say.
Yeah.
Now,
Yes. Thank you. Sorry.
uh,
I saw Enid uh
huh?
have two questions in the screen.
Yeah,
Mm, she
go ahead.
asked, Jati means emotions. So Jati means physical and emotional states, right?
Jati is a combination of everything, changing, bringing emotions, physically and emotionally, everything is jati. You are
Yeah.
changing. Now, see, the good example is that mother waiting for the son to come at 7 o'clock. What is happening to that mother's system? Changing from one situation to another. Every second and here now. Thinking this way, that way. Is he
Yeah.
alive? Is he coming on time? What is happening? Is he in the train or the bus? That is jati.
Okay. Another
Physically,
question.
yeah, yeah.
You please.
Mm-hmm. Jati.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
What the other question?
another question she asked,
Yeah.
uproot means the better root. Uprooting here we sankin
Visankara.
in
Yeah.
sangani
Yes,
sangara.
Visankara. Visankara means stop the Sankara. Sankara is that change. So no more changing happening now. No more jati is happening once you get rid of Sankara. That is Visankara. When you introduce Visankara, no Sankara. Visankara means no Sankara.
Yeah.
Visankara is right opposite of
She asked.
Sankara.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
whether that will answer your question, please.
yeah,
Next
yeah,
question.
yeah,
Visankara is opposite of Sankara. So Buddha mentioned here, now see, so important. Buddha mentioned about Sankara here. So Buddha found, or the ascetic Siddhartha found, Sankara is the culprit. Sankara is the person who is troubling me. If I go beyond Sanya to Sankara and Vijnana, which is the mirage and the myth, as given by Buddha, then we are
yes.
in trouble because the thought is made, can't go backwards. Can you
Okay.
understand that? I'm
Uh,
happy to elaborate more and more. So if you're not
yes.
sure, I can elaborate. So it's Visankara is stopping Sankara. What's the advantage? You're not going to Vijnana, you're not going to complete the thought. So no thoughts are happening. Now see, without thoughts, we can live. Don't the thing is don't go to Sankara and Vijnana. Then it won't become a thought. An idea
Okay.
came to you. Now, see, you look at something, you got an idea. So you
Yeah.
say, yeah, it's a nice house. That's it. Stop there. I'm not going to go for that. No sankar. Then if you think I can't buy that, I have no money, this, that, then the sankara comes. Make sense?
Yes.
That is
Makes
where the
sense.
sankara is introduced. So Buddha never asked you not to look at the things outside. People, some people say Buddhism is very pessimistic, telling not to do. No, that's not right. You can enjoy the life, but don't hurt yourself. Enjoy the life without hurting others and yourself. When
Yeah,
you are
thank you.
when you are having your meal, enjoy to the fullest. It says Arahants, Buddhas enjoying the the meals very well.
Yes, thank you. Actually, you
But
explained very, very clearly.
yeah, this practical thing, I
Through
am
through the
the practical
questions,
side.
yeah, we can make sure what we understand is truly. Yeah, thank you.
That's all right. Yeah. Because when you change your system, you can't enjoy anything. If you change your system bad to us, you can't enjoy it. You can't talk properly. You can't, have a good meal. You can't taste it. So many things are coming into the system unnecessarily. So Buddha said, don't do that. Just, enjoy what you have got. But when you are going in this for the, this not for the people who become monks, so they are not that bad, but they are not going after karma like the normal layman. Even the layman can control their lives. The layman are full of karma, isn't it? Layman in the world, they are going behind everything. But not the noble people who wants to become noble. They are very well disciplined, isn't it? At least to a
Yes,
certain extent.
yes,
At least to a certain extent, they can control themselves. But those who can't control, they go in one vehicle and they think about the other vehicle. When they see a better vehicle, they think about going in that vehicle. So eventually, that person didn't go in this vehicle or other vehicle. He's in a different mood. He's not enjoying his ride. Make sense?
yes. Yeah, thank you.
So that is not the way to live. Buddha never asks us to live like that. Enjoy the life, but don't hurt yourself or others. Then you can't go wrong. You are
Yes,
with what Buddha said. So Buddha never said, don't dress up, don't eat well. No, well, who said that? Buddha never said that. I don't know why some people are, telling all these things. No, that's wrong. Completely wrong. I have gone through nearly 20 sutras now. None says that. None.
yeah,
None.
yeah,
No.
thank you.
If you
Yes,
look at the
yes,
other sutras, it's the same. So anyway, so it's a very good point that you asked. I like the question because it has to be sorted out. Okay, if you go to the next part, this quite interesting part is coming next.
okay.
So yeah, the next paragraph, last one, I think, and the last or the one before last. Thus firmly, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one to concentrate fully. Now the last part tells us the story, everything. Thus firmly sustain the noble fortunateness by effectively introducing impartiality. Buddha said, I use the impartiality. Majjagati means impartiality, serenity and tranquility. No going towards that way or this way. To detach the prevailing attachments occurring due to attentiveness, tanha. Here it is. Buddha has done the job by not going towards tanha, the attentiveness. Karma is there, but no tanha. So karma is very, very, very slight. You can have very slightly, you can have the karma very slightly, but not tanha.
Yes.
Not develop tanha too much. Attentiveness towards the world, the sources for happiness. So the Prince Siddhartha or the ascetic Siddhartha taken out tanha. How? Use Majjhima Patipada. Majjhima Patipada means serenity and tranquility. Detach. Detach, that's the way to detach from the attachments. By not using tanna in very simple terms, not utilizing or using or being with tanha. That is to overcome firstly the turbulent and shaking formations, that is visankara, to make the system visankara. Visankara gatam chittang, the system, the body and the emotions. The particles of the physical system gathang and chittang. Secondly, the furious, violent and hurtful thoughts emerging through such formations sankara. We studied that sankara goes to vijnana. So that is the most important part, Buddha said at last. Now, when there is no sankara, when there is no vijnana, there's nothing to fear. The fearful sufferings are eradicated no more. That is where Buddha started with. I was trying to figure out the person responsible to get rid of fearful sufferings. Now come to a stage where they are not forming anymore. Fearful suffering through thoughts. Now the last point is very important. Now the sensors of this process of the Buddha or the system are effectively and effortlessly controlling by the very system itself, by the Buddha, rather the possessions of the outside world. Outside world has no way of encroaching the or coming towards the 6 or 9 senses and trouble them. Dictate terms to the 6 senses, no hereafter. So there can't be any sankara. So Buddha in this one insisting the bad part of sankara and to get rid of sankara to attain the bliss of nibbana. That is so important. So it says from the beginning, if you go back to the beginning, that the first one decided to fully free the system or the process of this life from fearful sufferings. Aneka jati sansarang sanda vissang anibisang. Gahakarakang gavesanto, Gahakarakang the craftsman, gavesanto to find the Gahakaraka. I did a examination, evaluation to figure out. Tanhanang kaya, kaya means kayang viragang. Don't bring back kayang raga. Kayang viragang amatam panitang, same term here. Tanha kayang. So I have taken out tanna can't come again. Tanna can't come. Kayang, tanna kayang. Use what? Majjagati. The serenity and tranquility used. The last 3 words are so important. I use the serenity and tranquility to overcome tanha, and it has no place anymore. Kayang, thrown away. Kayang, tanha. Therefore, no sankara, visankara gatan chittam. The physically or emotionally no sankara. So if I read the last line, physically or emotionally no sankara, because I have taken out tanha from the system completely by means of serenity and tranquility, or upekha, or majjima patipada, or majjagati, impartiality. Make sense? Understood that?
Yes. Yes.
It's pretty useful. If you go to the next page, I can just point out. I just want to point out, if you go to the next page, is it available here? Next page or not? Is there another page? Only. Yes, that's right. So what is the vital message presented by Omniscient Buddha to us from the last part of the dawning statement? I just explained that. So get rid of visankara gatan chittan. Don't rely on sankara. Now see look at the last line, last paragraph. Go to the last paragraph. Thereby, the interior of the system becomes quite comfortable and relaxing, and as a result of that, the system does not undergo changes, that is, jati, in its physical particles, and disturb the process of the system by sankar and vijnana, as in the past. No, it's not happening now. In essence, that shows the process of all Buddhas do not experience sankar, and also uncertain and precarious consequences of them. Never experience such things. Therefore, ignorance through vijnana has no chance to invade such noble processes or noble people. Make sense?
Yes.
That's the last part, is the most important part. So in the previous one, I said six dhatu. That I had to mention. Now see, all these days we learn four dhatu, chatu dhatu. This is a six dhatu. So can you go a little bit up? Yeah, I just want to show you that. Yeah, in this para, they occur in the physical system in the following sequence. There are six dhatus actually speaking, but we said and done those things earlier, but not in this fashion. So compression, we know, squeezing, we know, warming up and vibrating the particles of the system. Because of that, attraction, retractions develop. That's called akasa dhatu. That's a new term comes.
Yeah.
Akasa dhatu means attraction and retraction develops through the four dhatu. So that becomes the fifth dhatu. And eventually that gives vijnana dhatu. That's the worst part. That is the last part of a thought. Brings up here. So what Buddha says here is that jati or change, compression, squeezing, warming up, and vibrating, when they join together all these four, attraction, retraction comes, then the thought is completed. Vijnana, then in trouble, the system is in trouble. Then suffering and sorrow, hurtful consequences as result of spreading of the sorrow all over the system. So there are three things Buddha said. Dukkha, one is dukkha, and spreading of dukkha within the entire system. That's called soka, dukkha, and soka parideva. Soka parideva means it's spreading throughout the system. Parideva. Soka, the sorrowfulness spreading through the system is called soka parideva. Dukkha domanassa is dukkha domanassa. Dukkha is sorrowfulness, is gone to the highest level. Domanassa means crying and, weeping. Everything is going on. It is, it is somewhat showing what is happening inside through the system or the six senses. So all the six senses are telling us what is happening inside. There is a saying that don't show the emotions, but unfortunately, the emotions are coming out through the six or the nine senses by weeping, shouting, crying, all those things happen. So that can go up to their avinyana. Vijnana can bring up to that particular situation or the situations. Make sense?
Yes.
It's a very important message given by the Buddha. So this writing won't tell what I explained. So it's good to have the discussion so you can recall what I said and look at with these particular statements, first one, the second, then you can get a better understanding, I believe. I tried my
Yes.
best. So you can think over that. You might come out with more ideas. Why not?
Yeah, you did it so well. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you so much.
there is no words to express my gratitude. And
Thank you.
because what you preached is so important. Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thanks. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yes,
It's
it's
a
very
great
useful.
pleasure.
Yes.
It's a great pleasure to talk to this group. I really
Yeah,
admire. Okay. Then regards to everybody. And as I said, I will come in few weeks' time. I'll inform any. Okay. When I'm
yeah.
ready.
Thank you so much. And
Thanks.
sorry, Dr. Bodhi, I just accessed the message. Yeah, I didn't use my phone. Sorry about that. Yeah, I checked
It doesn't matter. That's all right. So you can read through. There are
10%.
there are
Yeah,
there are 10 precepts.
percent.
You
Yeah,
know,
precept. I
yeah,
will. Yeah, I will spread
that,
out
that is
to
how
our.
that is how we understood. But the book says different things. But I'm not arguing with what book says. I'm not here to argue with anybody. What I'm doing is I'm just telling what I have understood. So
Perfect.
if
Thank
it is with the uh, thinking pattern of anybody, can accept, or if not, you can ask me, you can question, no problem. That's what Buddha said. Don't question.
you.
Iyaliya
Thank
sattani vibhavayanti. Buddha said,
you.
don't accept, just
Yeah,
go on asking questions. That's good. Good habit.
yeah. Yeah, we will
Okay?
ask you more questions. Yes, no
Yeah.
problem. And take good care of yourself, especially during the winter. And
Yeah, winter is
looking
the
forward
problem. Yeah,
to
yeah. I hope I
looking
can come.
forward to seeing you soon.
Okay, yes. All right. Yeah, of course.
All the best.
All the best.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye
Good
bye.
night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.